Hello. Welcome back to From Religion to Woohoo. This is your host, Angie, and I'm super excited to be back and sharing with you again some of the things I have been picking up in my intuition and spirit and in some of my meditations. This morning I had I think I've been having these meditations for the last several days. I realized the other day that there was a lot of times that I actually knew there was a block in my life and there was something that I needed to address, but it was much easier to pretend it wasn't there, or even in my meditations, like try to zen myself out of that situation, like almost as if the meditation was gonna make this issue go away and I wasn't gonna have to deal with it. And so I have been working on some limited mindsets within myself in the last few days. Some of you may know, if you follow anything woohoo at all, and are into astrology, Mercury retrograde started this week on the 10th. Yay. And I have felt the effects of it since last week. This weekend, I felt it really heavily. My energy was drained, and then I went to work one day and I was just off. Like, my mood, I felt like my personality was off even. Like, I just did not feel like me. And so when it came to Tuesday, I hadn't been sleeping well. And so for the first time, I think in my whole life, I called in to my work and I told them I was taking a sick day. And literally all I did was meditate the entire day. I would meditate and then I would go take a little nap and then go back and meditate, and I journal and just really get in tune with my spirit and my intuition and releasing toxic energies in my body, using some Reiki on myself, doing some sound healing, just really trying to get my energy back in line with my, divine self, with my spirit self, because I really felt like the body that I was in and my mind was really ruling in the moment. And we really do have the ability to kind of tell our egos that to take a step back. Like, it's a good thing in most cases that our ego is like, hey, watch out, this is coming, or be careful, or just a warning for us. But sometimes that doesn't always need to happen, especially when it's just like something astrological, like in the skies, that are happening. And we can choose to realign our energy at any moment. So I've been doing a lot of that in the recent days. This morning I got up, as I usually do, and spent some time in meditation, and I decided just to really listen to my spirit, to my guides, just allow myself to be present without doing anything. Because I think sometimes when we're in the middle of meditation, we, even just like religion, we get in these almost striving mindsets where we learn something that works for us, or it works one time or a few times, and we think that, if I just get back to that place, then this will happen. Or if I feel that feeling again, this will happen, that will help me. Or if I do this, if I meditate this long, if I use this song, or if I use this kind of, crystal, or whatever it is. Like, we get into these limited mindsets, and that is exactly what religion does. It's like, pray, read your Bible, do your quiet time, come to church, repent, do all these things so that you can be good enough and be worthy for God. Because, when you're not really doing that, you're not really aligned with God. And it's really exhausting to constantly try to find a way to connect with the Spirit, to connect with your own intuition, to connect with God. And this morning, as I was doing my meditation, and I decided just to be quiet and just to allow my spirit to talk to me, because, I know I've gotten into that in some way. I heard some interesting things pop up. And one of the things that is it was like an ouch moment, but it was revealing, is I heard in my spirit, you are allowing pride to creep in. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't consider myself to be like a prideful person. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm better than you, or like I have more knowledge, or, all this stuff. Like, I believe completely that everybody has their own divine gifting, their own individual gifting, and working together is the best. However, in my human ego, in my striving self, and my program mindset, and my religious traumas, I 100% have that mindset that I have to show up, I have to have this knowledge, I have to be this way to be valuable in this world. And what came into my spirit and really dropped in for me today was that pride is so subtle and so quiet sometimes that we forget to take a step back and allow ourselves to learn and be guided through moments in our life, instead of pushing through and bulldozing through and trying to create what we believe needs to happen in our lives. We forget that the reality of it is our spirit is always connected to the divine. There's no separation. There is no need to force ourselves to connect with the divine energy and with love. And, I think about the time that my dad came to visit me in spirit, and how he talked to me about basically manifestation. One of the last things that he said to me before I said, he went back into the spirit realm or wherever he went. He's, I remember I hugged him and I was super excited, and I was just peaceful, I just felt peace. But I knew, in my logical mind, that I was in bed still crying. I was bawling. I was really, really grieving and really sad. And my dad said to me, I need to go. Your body's upset. And in this vision I was having, in this visitation I was having, my spirit had no idea what that even meant. And I was like, what are you talking about, Dad? I'm not upset. I'm happy to be with you. This is, this is where you belong. This is where I belong, kind of a thing. And my dad's like, no, your body is upset. I need to go. And as he said that to me a few more times, I came back into the knowledge that my spirit was with my dad, but my body was grieving, and it was going through this process of allowing the emotions to move through it. And so, he explained to me, your spirit is always at peace. Your spirit is always connected to me and to the divine and to love. And there's no striving in love. There's no need to have any of that other stuff outside of the human realm. The human body, the human experience, and all that, is the purpose of it is to feel those things, whether we like it or not. They are what connect us to love. They're what teaches us how amazing the divine's love is. What our little spirits are created from. Our little tiny, I'm not going to say tiny, but the way I envision it is these little, and I'll talk about this vision I had sometime, but I did have a vision of little spirits being released out of the divine. And it was just a beautiful, humbling experience. And I ended up bawling, and it was just awesome. But in our spirit, we are always connected to the divine. It is our ego and our body and our human experience that constantly feels like we have to strive to be something, to be connected, to show up. And that's where competition comes in. That's where striving comes in. That's where, feeling like we have to do these certain rituals. That's where just really like I would say legalistic kind of stuff, like the hierarchy, the, programs or whatever. And so as I was meditating this morning, I had this realization, like, oh my gosh, like I am trying to recreate an experience that I've had before, because that experience allowed me to feel connected with the divine. And now I'm blocking more experiences because I expect that same feeling and same thing to come back. And the reality of it is there's so many layers, there's so many areas of growth, there's so many different ways that the divine can connect with us. Like, we don't even have a clue. Like, and I heard in my spirit, like, there's a Bible verse that talks about, like, to God, a day is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is a day. And so that came to my mind today, and it just, like, the reality of it came, like, there's been times in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But the reality of it is like, there's no time. There's literally no time. We created time on earth. And so in a spirit, there's no time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to strive. There's no need to worry. And so when we allow our conscious to take over, and we kind of let our subconscious mind, our ego mind, step back a little bit, that subconscious, or that consciousness of us, our spirit, is already connected. We don't have to do anything. What we have to do is quiet our egos. And so little teeny tiny bits of pride start popping up in our ego, and we may not even realize that it's like us trying to control, but it is. We are trying to control the divine. We're trying to control the energy, and we can't. All we can do is allow it to be. I am that I am, just like Jesus taught, and the Buddha talked, be quiet and, find love in everything around you. Like, there's a stillness about time, about the absence of time, I guess I should say, that allows us to just be. So if we did not have time at all, if like we didn't have a place to be, something to do, a program to develop, a ritual to do, whatever it is, which I'm not talking bad about any of these things. I think they're awesome. I love rituals. I love mantras. I love setting time to do my meditation. I love these things. They're so good, but they're for our ego. They're for our human self to connect with the divine. Our spirit doesn't need the help. The spirit is always connected. So when we start relying on those things more than we should, we start to create a absence and a lack and a disconnect, which provides or makes a block between us and that energy. So when we start to release the need to perform and release the need to show up in a certain way, that's when our conscious can reconnect, help our ego mind to kind of take a step back, be like, you don't need to protect me, you don't need to strive right now, just allow the energy to flow, and then we can hear our intuition. So the more we're able to do this, the more we're able to take that step back, allow that quiet, the stillness, the lack of time, all that to just really embody us. That's when we start to drop the pride, and we can move into understanding our spirit and hearing how to move past blocks in our life. So that's what I would like to share with you all today. And I'm super excited about being present with you. And I just want to send you all the love and divine energy and healing that you can receive today. And I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is. Namaste.